Ready for our next case? Please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
My name is W Castille, DOC number is 293691.
Yeah, Arthur, my name is Brennan Kelsey. Along with me is Mr. Al Roche and Mr. Pete Freeman will be your panel. Explain the process to you, read some information to the record, have a parole over. You ask you some questions, you can respond. At the end, you can make a statement. We'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then we have some folks that'll be here in opposition. Melissa Martin, Jerry Martin, who will speak, Danielle Holloway, who will speak, Ashley Martin, Tanya Martin, Shirley Linsby, Bruce Hamilton, and Emily Lubin. They will speak at the appropriate time. We also have in support Kerry Myers, Ron Robichaud, Sheriff Bobby Guidros, David Bouton, Christy Sagara, Sean Sagara, Dave Gilbanu. They'll speak at the appropriate time. Arthur Castille, DOC number 293691, first class offender, parole eligibility date 1/24/2023, good time 3/7/2040, full term 9/7/2089. You are a second degree murder and it's a 99-year sentence with commutation of sentence from Governor Edwards. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, would you answer Mr. Roche's questions, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kelsey. Good morning, Mr. Castile. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Roche.
Good night seeing you again.
Yes, sir. Same here.
Good. Mr. Castile, let me put some general information into the record. Look like you're currently, 61 years old?
Yes, sir.
And you're first felony offender. And you have a good time with just the date of March 7th, 2040, and a parole eligibility date of January 24th, 2023. And that date was by virtue of a commutation of sentence or a life sentence to 99 years with immediate parole eligibility. And it was signed by Governor John Bell Edwards. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
On May 16, 2022, about 14 months ago, you received a vote 4-0 to grant a recommendation for a commutation of sentence to 99 years with immediate parole eligibility. That recommendation was based on an excellent disciplinary conduct record, only one disciplinary write-up, in 34 years of incarceration, and that was in 2009, about 14 years ago. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that still true today?
Yes, sir.
You have an excellent disciplinary record. You have positive remarks of the state police barracks staff, excellent work evaluations, excellent transition plan, the length of incarceration, and how long have you been incarcerated?
I've been incarcerated 32 years and 8 months.
And also based on a limited criminal history, and you show a sincere remorse towards the victim and the victim's family at your pardon hearing. That recommendation was revetted, reviewed, and Governor Edwards on January 24th of this year signed that recommendation, giving you a parole eligibility date. You have a low risk assessment, you have a low needs assessment, and excellent employment opportunities with contemporary Energy Solutions in Lafayette. Tell us about that employment opportunity.
Tell them about the employment opportunity.
Oh, excuse me, I couldn't hear you. Well, that my employment opportunities as a friend of mine, he owns the company, and it's a generator company. He goes around and fixes these industrial generators. And he told me that he wants to put me to work because he has a lot of work and he trusts me. And it's a great opportunity to be able to help. And then, like, when you're working on generators, you're also helping people because they need the generators to be running their business or homes or whatever. But it's a very, very good blessing that I have this opportunity to work with him if I get granted parole today.
Okay. Your initial transition plan is with the Louisiana Parole Project. Tell me, after you leave the Louisiana Parole Project, where will you be staying and who will you be staying with?
Once I've completed the parole project, I'm going to a lifelong friend of mine and his wife, Don Thibodeau and Renee Thibodeau. And they told me that they wanted me to stay with them, and I've been knowing them all my life. And they told me that I could stay as long as I wanted or until I get on my feet. And Don Thibodeau is also one of my sponsors.
Great. It's been 14 months since your appointment hearing, Mr. Castille. Tell the panel this morning about the programs, the organizational participation. Tell us about what you've been doing for the last 14 months.
Well, since my last hearing, I completed another victim awareness class. I took a legal class. I participated in our annual St. Jude Marathon that we have here at the police barracks, where we raise money for the kids at the hospital and to give back to the kids. And I was also blessed to be able to go to a driving school and obtain a driver's license.
Excellent. So you've been busy.
Yes, sir.
What is your current work assignment at the state police barracks?
My current assignment is I work at Troop 8 here in Baton Rouge.
You do have opposition to your early release. You have opposition from the judge, the DA's office, and law enforcement. The entire victim's family, 13 members of the victim's family, have submitted statements or letters voicing their opposition to your early release. I just had to let you know that, and I need to put it into the record. You do have opposition, and that opposition is very strong. Captain Washington, do you have any comments, remarks, concerns, or observations?
Yes, sir. Mr. Castille has been a very positive influence on the community here at State Police Barracks. And I will speak on behalf of his job site. When I spoke to them about Mr. Castille, they asked me if I could find 5 more people just like him. They talk about his work ethic and how much pride he takes in making sure that the troop looks presentable. They say that he does it like it's his own place. So they speak very highly of him, and here, anything we ask him to do, he's very supportive and will do whatever we ask. So I look forward to his positive transition.
Thank you, Captain Washington. Mr. Castille,
Yes, sir.
a job well done.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Kelsey.
Here, for Mr. Kerry Meyer.
Good morning, I'm Kerry Meyer, leading the Parole Project. We are here to support Mr. Castille in his transition. Obviously, his record, his exemplary record during the incarceration speaks for itself. Mr. Roche laid it out very clearly. What biggest thing in transition after 31 years is recognizing how to live in the world again, and that's what we do best. We help people reestablish themselves. We help clients learn how to function in today's world. We're not concerned about Mr. Castille's criminogenic. That's obviously as a man who first time offender who's got the record he has, he's long past any criminal activity. He's done the hard work while he's been incarcerated. We're here to help him. We know he has a strong plan once he leaves us. He has employment. He has an extremely strong support system, and we just ask the board for Castile.
Right, thank you. Here from Sheriff Bobby Gedros. Is the sheriff here? Okay. We'll hear from can Sheriff Bobby Gedros hear me? Is sheriff here?
I don't see him.
Yeah, I don't see. Okay. We'll hear from Emily Lubin.
Let me represent much stand.
If you can, that'd be great. Let's hear from Sean Segura.
I guess this is a good spot.
Yes.
My name is Sean Segura. I'm originally from Vermillion Parish, Abbeville, Louisiana. I currently reside in Clinton, Louisiana with my wife and married. Christy's here, been married 32 years. I met Arthur Castille about 13 years ago through missionary work, if you will, at Angola. I had the opportunity to visit Angola dozens of times with our priest, where we went, we visited inmates, we held mass, we provided the opportunities for the inmates to go to mass and receive the Eucharist. One of the first guys I met 13 years ago was Arthur Castille. I've met dozens, if not hundreds, of these inmates and got to speak with them on a personal level multiple times over the years. Arthur Castille is the only guy that I would feel comfortable getting up here and talking. I witnessed Arthur, I watched him, I watched his involvement in the church, I watched his involvement in the community, I watched him as he worked his way through the system at Angola. You start out, and I'm sure you work the fields maybe perhaps, and then you get to the trustee level. He was a trustee level working in the small engines repair. He worked his way all the way up to Warren Burl King's house to clean the house for the top guy in Angola. How do you do that? How's a guy work his way all the way through the system? And I'll tell you, Arthur's got character. Arthur's kind, he's humble, he's generous. And at the end of the day, he realized he made a terrible mistake. But Arthur committed himself to doing the right thing for the rest of his life. As the record indicates, been in there 32 years. I think he's had one minor infraction in 32 years. I don't know how anyone can navigate that system where people, that group of men, and only have one infraction in 32 years. It shows, it's a testament to his character. I'm a businessman and I've been blessed with business opportunities. I own a farm in Clinton, Louisiana. I told Arthur 10 years ago, if you ever get out, man, you come to work. I got a house up in you. He's blessed right now to have an opportunity in Latvia where the guy's, he's got a car already, he's got a job, and he's got a place to stay. He's so blessed with dozens of family and friends, one of which is here today that's going to talk, that say, Arthur can come to work with me. I told my wife last night, I'd give Arthur the keys to my house. He has developed that level of trust and integrity. I've had hundreds of conversations with this guy. It's easy to speak. It's easy to talk when you speak the truth. Whenever you lie, You gotta go back and cover your story. I said this morning to Christie. I've never taught author in any conversation in the last 13 years, ever, not one time. But backpedaling on an issue, or maybe lying about an issue, or maybe embellishing to make himself look good, never. This guy's truthful and he's honest and he's got integrity.
All right.
He made a terrible mistake. He was incarcerated for a terrible crime. But I'm here to say that this is what this board was created for. These are the type of guys that he deserves a second chance. He's proven it through his impeccable record. He's got such a tremendous network of pastors and priests, and he's going to alcohol classes and drug classes. And he said Sunday, I visited him Sunday, and we were just joking. I said, man, we may have to have a toast one day if this thing works out. It's not me. Never again. He's committed.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
time. I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. We hear from Mr. David Gilbin.
Thank you. My name is Rusty Gilbo. I'm from the Lafayette area, Sunset area where Arthur grew up. Been knowing Arthur since high school and college. We played football together and went through all of the grade schools together. When I knew Arthur prior to him being incarcerated and losing his way, was a young man that was very motivated and had great character and great attitude about life. Unfortunately, he made this big mistake and this big choice in his life that he had to pay for 32 years and 8 months, which is this health guy. Going through these 32 years with Arthur and seeing all his development through incarceration after this horrific act, it's very impressive, as Sean just indicated. The first thing most inmates do is they jump to the Lord and to Christ, which is a wonderful thing. I will never doubt that. And it's the right thing to do. Arthur did that. But what really impresses me is when the state police commander, the warden, other individuals vouch for his work ethic and what he stands for as a man today, 62 years of age. As Sean indicated, I think Arthur needs a second chance. I feel that he deserves a second chance for what he's going through. It never erases his horrific act. I get that. In the same breath, we have a lot of friends and family waiting for Arthur to get out. We will help him. I am the CEO of a large logistics transportation company, and Arthur can work for me any day. He can work on my home or at my place of business. I would have an opening for him for that type of individual, what he stands for today. So I appreciate everything that you guys have looked at and been a part of, and I hope that you grant his parole today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We hear from Mr. Jerry Martin now.
Yeah, I'm Jerry Martin. 34 years ago, whatever, you decided to play God and kill my mom. And it's not a terrible mistake, it's a freaking sin. You don't deserve to get out of prison. You should be in there until the day you die. I prayed you died of COVID, but my God wouldn't answer that prayer. And now you keep disrupting my life. Every time I turn around, here we go again with you. No, you don't deserve no kind of freedom.
Speak to the board.
I don't get.
Speak to the board.
I don't. Yes, sir. Okay, gentlemen, I don't get any time back with my mom after 32 years and 8 months of prison. I strongly object to him getting out. She was an innocent Christian woman, and her life was taken away from her, and my life's been a mess since. I don't I have nothing else to say. I'm strongly objecting to this
All right,
person
thank you.
getting out of prison.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your comments. Yes, sir. Danielle Holloway.
Yes, sir. So I have a letter to read to y'all as the board. It starts off by stab wound left side of the neck, defense wounds on palm side of the left hand, 2 small wounds base of left index finger, left middle finger, and defense wounds on palm side of right hand. Deep laceration on forehead. 48 hours alone. Hello, I'm the niece of Margie Morton. I'm reading this on behalf of Margie's siblings, my father, Dennis Lisenby, and my aunt, Virginia Ginger Lisenby. On my 29th birthday of this year, I went and picked up the autopsy report of my aunt. 34 years ago, my aunt was taken, a woman I never fully got to know, love, and have a relationship with. Some think I'm crazy. Why go get an autopsy report? My answer is to read to all of y'all on what she looked like at the hands of what Arthur did. This is just a piece of the information that I had to read. As much as I know y'all probably read the report, and I may be repeating myself, but maybe just the words coming from a family member who didn't have to go the extra mile will show you how much hurt we've been through over the years. I have put it down more times than I can count due to the very detail of reading the report. So many more questions came to me, so many more defense wounds, knowing she truly tried to get this man to stop. This past year, I've truly prayed to God what I was going to write to y'all, for y'all to understand my family's generational pain. But truly, if none of y'all have ever lost a loved one, not by the natural cause of death in life, but ripped from you by a selfish, gruesome act of an unjustified murder, then I don't think y'all could ever truly understand the pain my family has felt for years and will continue to feel for the rest of our lives, as well as our lives for our future children, relatives that she never got to meet. The bottom line is our relative and loved one was taken from us, not because of an accident, but because Arthur committed a gruesome murder and stole her from us. That can never be taken back or undone, no matter how much time passes. We will never get her back in our lives. We will never get to experience all the joys in life if it wasn't for Arthur's actions. Regardless of how long he's been incarcerated, regardless of his record as an inmate being incarcerated, there's nothing he could ever do to change the fact what he did to our beloved Margie. The fact that he robbed us from celebrating life with her. I'm sorry. Not for just what he did to her, but for what he did to our family. Our Margie was a kind, gentle soul who loved her family, loved her friends, loved people, and just the simple joys of life. Anyone I've ever known her called her a gentle soul who tried to see the positive things. Someone who had a smile that lit up the room, and they say that she had the heart bigger than Dallas. But sadly, I never got to experience any of that because Arthur robbed me and her from that experience. But what I did get to experience is knowing the actual size of my aunt's heart, which is 200 grams, according to her autopsy report. The overall bottom line is no matter how much anyone wishes this could have been different, including Arthur, it's not. He is sentenced to serve life in prison, a sentence that the courts in this state deemed fair and true, not just for my aunt, but for us as her family. Yourselves, as well as the courts and justice system in this country, are supposed to see that justice is not only found, but served for the victims and the families' victims that lose their loved ones to this terrible act, just like Arthur committed when he stole her from us. We are entirely at God's and y'all's mercy to do just that and to stand by y'all's decision after y'all made that we will forever have some type of justice and peace. I can only speak on myself, and no matter the decision y'all come today, Arthur will have to stand before God and answer what he did to my aunt. And at that time, I hope God does have some type of mercy on his soul as he condemns him for the punishment. But while he's here on this earth and my aunt is not, he should continue to serve his punishment that he has been deemed right, very true by this court, and that is supposed to protect us. For y'all to undo the justice that has been provided for my family and to let him go is not just a spit and a slap in our face, but a spit and slap in every victim's face that has to pick up the pieces every day. Only y'all have the power to do that, what's right today. And I truly hope y'all have opened your eyes and ears, not just listened, but actually heard the words I've spoken to y'all today. Please do the right thing and not let this man go free from his crimes. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your comment. All right, Arthur, would you like to make a statement on your behalf?
Yes, sir, I would. I want to let everyone know that I'm take total responsibility for what I've done to Ms. Martin and her family. It's like was said, I can't take it back. I truly wish I could. I'm sorry for the pain and the suffering that I caused to Ms. Martin's family. I don't really understand how y'all feel, but I understand that y'all have suffered over all these years because y'all lost a mother, sister, an aunt, grandmother. And I'm truly, truly sorry for what I did back in 1989. I know I'm just truly sorry for what I've done.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Emily, would you like to wrap it up?
Yes, thank you. Good morning. I'm Lee Lubin, here to represent Mr. Castille. And I met Mr. Castille over a year ago prior to his confrontation hearing. And as Mr. Square said, he's been consistent every day, every time that I met him. He's honest, he's remorseful, he takes accountability for his actions, he's humble, and he has a true drive and work ethic and a desire to give back to whatever community that he is a part of. When Mr. Castille went to prison when he was 27 years old, he was, and he stands before you today, a substance abuser. And he committed this horrible act. And as he said, he wishes he could take it back. He lives with that crime every day. But what he has done in prison is to address the root causes of his crime. He has taken many classes about substance abuse. He's worked hard to maintain his sobriety and has a plan. He has 2 sponsors and he has a plan to attend AA classes if he's released at Turning Point in Monrovia. Mr. Castille, in that moment when he went to prison, as Mr. Square said, he turned back to God. He became a Catholic lay minister to help others. But in addition to that, he resolved himself to be a better person and commit to a journey of self-improvement. Mr. Castille has had only one write-up in 2009. He's been a Class A trustee since 2005. He's worked many jobs and he's currently at Troop A. He's been at the State Police Barracks since 2017. And Mr. Castille has taken many victims awareness classes, many substance abuse classes, and has really worked to look inside himself and change for the better. If released, he has a housing plan, personal parole project, and then with his friend to grow in Lafayette, he has employment lined up. He has a sobriety plan lined up. He has a vast network of friends and family who, as you can see, are eager to offer him even more job opportunities. And he also wants to continue his life service. Starting when he was first incarcerated, he began speaking with high school students about his substance abuse issues in a teen challenge program in the Lafayette area. And since then, he's discovered that passion to share his journey with others, and that's what he hopes to continue to do if he's released. He truly committed himself from that 27-year-old into a 61-year-old man standing before you today, and I ask that this board grant him parole and allow him to return to his community and service. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the panel prepared to vote?
Yes,
Mr. Roche?
thank you, Mr. Council. Before I deliver my decision, I'd like to speak to Martin's family. I want to thank you for participating in this hearing. I know it was difficult. It's been almost 33 years, but I know it was very difficult. You're still traumatized. You're still affected emotionally, mentally, and physically by the loss of your loved one. And one of the family members stated that a judge and a jury and whoever decided Mr. Castille's fate decided that he should have a life sentence and for the murder of Miss Marguerite Martin. And that was the law then. But the Constitution of the state of Louisiana and the revised statutes of the state of Louisiana, who voted on, and those revised statutes was voted on by representatives that we elected. And they changed those revised statutes as needed. And this procedure, which is going on today, in the party hearing that went on a year and a half ago, was mandated by the Louisiana Constitution and the procedures and guidelines we are supposed to follow was mandated by the Louisiana revised statutes. And it provides anyone who's guilty of breaking the law in the state of Louisiana has an avenue in which they can use if they serve their incarceration, rehabilitate themselves, and show the maturity which they did not show when they committed this offense. Mr. Castile was convicted and sentenced, but that sentence was commuted by the governor of the state of Louisiana in accordance with the Constitution and the revised statutes of the state of Louisiana. Mr. Castile has served over 32 years, has only one minor infraction 14 years ago. So that means the first 18 years of his incarceration, he did not have a write-up. And 14 years after that write-up, he's still write-up free and only has one disciplinary write-up. He has excellent work evaluation. He has excellent programming. He's performed community service throughout his incarceration. And based upon the pardon board decision to recommend to the governor by a vote of 4-0, that recommendation was revetted, reviewed by the governor's staff and the governor, and he saw fit because of the performance while incarcerated of Mr. Castile, signed it and made him eligible for a parole hearing. Based on all of those facts, I'm going to grant Mr. Castile, based on his excellent disciplinary conduct, positive remarks by Captain Washington, and a positive prison record. The following conditions should apply to your parole supervision. You ought to have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. You ought to do community service at 4 hours a month. get with your priest, get with your pastor, or your parole officer, and find some way you can give back to the community. You ought to attend at least 3 NAA meetings a week. And you ought to have no contact with the victim's family. If you happen to be in the same space as the victim's family, and let's take, for example, you're in Walmart buying groceries. If you come in contact with any victim or member of the victim's family, you ought to leave everything as is, and you ought to walk out of that location. Do you understand, Mr. Castille?
Yes, sir, I do.
Good luck.
Mr. Freeman,
I also want to thank the family for speaking today. I agree with Mr. Roche. I'm gonna grant his parole, but I'm also gonna add that he be on electronic monitoring. That way we could tell if he's anywhere near the victim.
all right, you have 2 votes to grant your parole. I'm also going to vote to grant your parole for the same reasons as stated, with the same stipulations as stated, curfew 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., community service 4 hours a month, no contact with the victim's family, NAA 3 times a week, electronic monitoring. 3 votes to grant your parole's been granted. Good luck to you.